WPTV.
Welcome back to the desk. As we progress through December, baseball is under key and lock until further notice. On the bright side, we did have a lot of action before the work stoppage. Here to break that down, we have Anthony, Andrew B, Joe, and Andrew G. Oh, gents, sad sight, Anthony. We're in the baseball apocalypse. You know, there's no baseball. Right now, we're in the lockout because of last weekend. I don't think there's a resolution in sight. You know, what are your thoughts on this one? It's a tough one.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look actually at a little bit of a graphic organizer we put together about the CBA negotiations. The lockout started December 2nd. First work stoppage was 1994. Some of the points of negotiation, universal DH and expanded postseason, you know, that helps both teams. It helps the revenue and it helps the players because they get to the postseason, and service time adjustments for players. And I don't see a resolution anytime soon, Samory. You saw a situation where the owners and the players walked out of the meeting the day of the lockout and stormed out. Mm-hmm. And since then, I don't think we're going to have a resolution until February, if we're being honest.
And that means no baseball until probably
May-ish, something like that.
We got to hope, man, because they'll be sad to not see any baseball, you know, during the springtime and summertime. It's the national pastime.
If it gets to January and we don't have a resolution yet, start getting worried.
Joe, what's your thoughts?
Here are my thoughts on this. It's very important to remember that the MLB does not have to impose this lockout. They are choosing to do this. In their statement, they said they had to. That is false. Some other facts here is that the average MLB salary over the last 2 years has went down. The revenue has gone up, the player salary has gone down, and also, it wasn't on the graphic. They changed the ball mid-season without telling the players or informing anyone. This has a big impact on stats, on the games themselves. So the MLB and their dirty tricks, they're not going to stand. The players are not going to stand for that.
And we saw the players, you know, they posted their empty profile pictures on the MLB network, so we saw that as a troll to the MLB. But Andrew B, I know this is tough.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on this one?
It's really unfortunate. I mean, I love watching baseball and everything.
Who doesn't?
And I mean, you know, the fact that these guys are losing their money now with the league revenue going up and everything. And I saw something else about prospects are like still being held down in AAA and everything, not being brought up because, you know, it delays their free agency by a year. It's nuts. I don't like the owners, man.
Hey, put your cards on the table.
All these billionaires.
Yeah. Andrew G, what you got?
I think another big problem is arbitration. It's affecting all the players in arbitration right now. What are they going to come to agreement? How are they going to come to agreement with the service time manipulation? How is that going to affect them?
Yeah.
It's the biggest problem.
It's a really big problem. But moving on from a problem in the whole MLB to a problem in the AL West for some teams when we do get back to playing baseball, guys. Texas Rangers beefed up their infield, getting Corey Seager to a 10-year, $300+ million contract. They also signed slugger Marcus Semien, John Gray. Joe P., is this going to make them a threat in the West?
Let's talk about the Rangers. Here we have some stats from their 2021 season was less than stellar, as they only accrued 60 wins, finished in last place, less than 4 runs a game, a measly 670 OPS, and given up almost 5 earned runs a game. It's very important to note with the Rangers that, yes, great middle infield signings with Semien and Seager, shortstop, second baseman. It's like putting lipstick on a pig at this point. The Rangers roster is a disaster, up and down. Their pitching depth is almost non-existent. I don't like them to finish higher than 4th this year.
Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, we're in lockstep. I mean, I like Seager and I like Semien a lot. I'm a big fan of both those guys. But, I mean, you got to look at something where it's like they still have A.J. Alexy. They still have Colby Allard anchoring the rotation. I mean, John Gray's really solid. I'm a big John Gray guy. But, I mean, he's not gonna carry that rotation to greatness. The offense is going to be better, 100%. Pitching is still a little far away, though.
Andrew G?
I'm going to agree with all of them. Yes. I don't think they'll win over 75 games. It's maybe 4+ wins with John Gray on the mound. You're not going to get anything out of this offense production without those 2 guys in the lineup. You're not going to get any pitching. It's just not good moves.
Andrew B?
I mean, like, they're cool signings and all, but it seems like they need a whole rebuild there, not just 2 hot names and a good pitcher, you know? I mean, the Mariners are going to be better than them. I think Astros are going to be better than them. The A's are going to be better than them. Angels might even be better than them. Who knows?
So they can end up
They might just still be last.
With giving Corey Seager $300+ million. And speaking of money, and I'll say this before we go into this next question. If you guys have kids, put them in baseball because that's where the money is. And look at Max Scherzer, $43 million a year for a 3-year contract. The Mets have also been going pretty well with other guys like Starlin Marte, Matt Canna, and I know you're happy about this, Joe. But Andrew B., we're going to go to you first. If the Mets can add anybody in a sign or a trade, who should they add?
I think they should add Ketel Marte. We'll take a look at his stats from last year. He was batting .318, 14 homers, 50 ribbies. and he had an OPS of 909. I mean, he's on a phenomenal contract, $30 million over the next 3 seasons. I think the Mets should go trade for him.
Joe?
I like a lot of these moves. If they got Kris Bryant, I would love their offseason. Let's look at Kris Bryant's stats. I mean, even in a lesser year, almost an 800 OPS, he will be a game changer, push McNeil into a sort of utility role.
Andrew G?
I think another great acquisition they have is Herman Marquez. If we take a look here, he had 32 games started. That is great. He had 180 innings, a 4.40 ERA. Not good, but the defense behind him he didn't have in Colorado. 180 strikeouts rounded up, and a 320 base on balls per 9 innings.
Anthony?
Well, yeah, I'm a big fan of Kenley Jansen. He's not the player he used to be, but this Mets team does need a little bit of revamp in the bullpen. Solid player, you know, if you look at his stats, 2.20 ERA, 3.08 FIP, almost over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. You get him, you sharp the bullpen a little bit. Like I say, he's not what he used to be. Still a very solid pitcher, though.
Yeah, really solid. As a Yankee fan, I really don't care about the Mets, but this is nice to see the Mets, you know, getting to where they should be. You know, hopefully they get that chance to get that world title since 1986. They haven't been there since 2000. They haven't won one since 1986. So let's see if they can do that. Closing question on this block. We have a free agent slugger from overseas that may be on the market. Seiya Suzuki, he's been a really great player for the Hiroshima Carp. And, you know, there's a lot of teams in the AL East that may be interested in him. But Andrew G., where do you think he goes?
I think, as we take a look here at Seiya Suzuki's stats in the KBO, as we take a look here, 370 average, 38 home runs, 88 RBIs. I think he's going to go to the Brewers. They got rid of Aviel Garcia. It'll be a great outfielder. They got Henry Renfroe, Yelich. They have a great outfield. It could really help them.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where he goes. You already gave away your pick, but let's go back to you. You said you think we go to the Brewers. Just dive in a little more on that.
Yeah, they had traded away Jackie Bradley Jr. Suzuki is plate disciplined. He works the count. He can really help out this offense. And his base percentage is 300, and trading Renfroe and everything, that's really helping them. Clearing cap space, getting rid of Jackie Bradley Jr., no offense production is really going to help this offense.
Anthony, where do you think he goes?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think he's actually going to go to the Colorado Rockies. We know the Rockies have been big game hunters this offseason. They're interested in bringing back Trevor Story, which is a little weird. They're also in on Kris Bryant. Suzuki has actually played a little bit of third base and shortstop a couple years back. So you could put him there, you know, plug and play him, you know, in the outfield a little bit, third base, shortstop. He might be a big player for him.
Andrew B?
I think he's going over to Boston. I think he's going to the Red Sox, and that pains me to say as a Yankee
me
fan.
too.
But J.D. Martinez and Enrique Hernandez, they're a year away from free agency. The right field job's open. He's a righty bat with a lot of power, and that fares well with Fenway.
Yeah. Joe P., close us out.
We need a team that's going for it, that has a big fan base of Japanese people, and as well as a team that needs a corner outfielder. The Seattle Mariners. It makes perfect sense to me on the paper. Ichiro was a legend there, and I think that Suzuki will follow up in his footsteps.
Well, hopefully we can see where he goes soon. Hopefully the stove gets hot because it's really cold right now because of this MLB lockout that we have on the MLB's hands. It's really unfortunate. But coming up next, we will throw a bomb pass to Joe and the NFL crew as they break down Lamar Jackson's struggles only here on WPTV.